There are a number of factors that play into whether someone is able to maintain a limited use license or what we call a conditional or restricted use license once they've been charged with a DWI. The most significant factor is the person's driving history, their history of DWI, and whether or not they've been accused of refusing to take the chemical breath test. A person who's been accused of refusing to take the chemical breath test has a separate penalty or sanction imposed upon them with respect to their driving privilege. That person is required to attend a hearing through the Department of Motor Vehicles to determine if that refusal is valid and if they must suffer the civil penalty for that refusal. If the refusal is valid, their license will be revoked for up to a year and they face additional penalties through the Department of Motor Vehicles. Assuming that you haven't refused and you're a first-time offender, when you show up at court, you'll be entitled to something called the hardship privilege, which will allow you to drive to and from work and to and from other necessary appointments, such as medical appointments, alcohol counseling, or things to that effect. That lasts a 30-day period when a first-time offender will become eligible for a conditional license. A conditional license is very similar to a hardship privilege, to and from work, medical appointments, and the Department of Motor Vehicles. The two major differences is that a conditional license allows you to drive for work. You can make different stops, you can deliver, you can go to different locations when you're on a conditional license. You can't do that on a hardship privilege. A conditional license also gives you 1 3-hour block of driving once a week to take care of personal errands, laundry, gas, grocery shopping, things to that effect. If a person drives for a living, a hardship privilege presents a problem for them because a hardship privilege is designed for a person to drive from point A to point B, their home to their place of employment. As a conditional license lets you drive from point A to point B and all points in between for work purposes. When we have clients who drive for a living, there are a number of tools we can employ to try to manage the situation to keep them employed and avoid long periods of time where they can't meet their employment requirements. If a person has priors, in New York, if you have a prior within 5 years, you're not eligible for any type of conditional or restricted use license. It's important that you meet with a lawyer who understands all these different variables and can advise you properly on what are the consequences you face and how to best navigate those.